Hey guys, Sublord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Voyager class Megatron, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, despite the fact that ye old Megatron here has absolutely no nice and shiny silver paint, which Hasbro is known for, whatsoever. He is completely bare arse gray plastic. I guess they were saving their silver paint budget for the 07 Voyager Megatron that came out in the Studio Series the following year, because ROTF, as the kids say, Megatron here is a 2019 release, and one I actually ordered off Big and Bad Toy Store. Not because he was hard to find. Heck, I even saw the battle damaged exclusive, quote unquote. I don't know. I saw that at Target, but I know it was online too. But he wasn't very hard to find, either of them. It was the 07 Voyager class Decepticon Brawl that was hard for your boy to find. So I had to order the case or two-pack of him and this Megatron here in order to get him. However, I don't think this is a terrible figure. It's lacking in paint for sure, but I think the sculpt is there. There's a lot of really nice sculpted detail on here. And you know what? I reviewed The Fallen. I reviewed all of Devastator. I literally only have a handful of Decepticons left to review from this movie, so I decided, screw it. I have them. Let's get into it. So taking a closer look at Megatron here. Now, here's a bit of a cheat that I learned. I forget where I learned this from, but these pieces are actually meant to just kind of chill on his back. I fold them up to help kind of fill out this giant cavity in his torso, because he has a giant cavity in his torso. But if you don't look at it from the side, from the front, he looks really good. From the back, he even looks pretty decent. And yeah, as far as articulation goes, his ugly mug can rotate. It is on a bit of a hinge, but it doesn't really work like that. It's very hard to get his head to sit right, because he's got this crazy hunchback look. But you can get some pretty good poses out of that ball joint there. He can look up pretty well, look back down. He can rotate side to side. He can tilt side to side. It's all fine and dandy. This arm can hinge outwards, back down. It can rotate all the way around. It does have a bicep swivel, which is kind of loose right here. It's loose where it counts, but it's not terribly loose. Then he does have a hinge in the elbow, and his fingers, much like some of the bits on Shockwave, are more of a PVC, but that kind of makes sense for this guy. Those are very skinny pieces. You wouldn't want those to break. They hinge in and out, though. Not really for transformation. I mean, you can kind of fold him up, but it doesn't really do anything. And I just untabbed his arm. Yeah, old figure doesn't really tab together the best, especially when you're trying to pose it. Especially when the transformation joint is looser than the shoulder joint. This arm, it's the same articulation, other than he doesn't have the fingers there, but he does have the ability to pop out of the tab. Okay. But he does have the single jointed elbow and this crazy long sword blade thing that he can impale Optimus Prime from behind with and blast his guts out. So, you know, if that traumatized you as a child, I'm right there with you, because I saw this movie in the theaters with me mum, and I got to see that crap live. Either way, as far as his legs go, we'll move back and forth. Much like Shockwave, kind of loosen the hip. He can kick out, back down. He does have a thigh cut. This armor plate is supposed to stay tabbed in, but it doesn't really. Now, he's got some knee joint action here. Like it's a double knee. You can move this part, you can move this part. But I like to just kind of keep him scrunched up like that. Then he does have some ankle tilt that does work pretty well. But yeah, he's a little finicky as far as posing him goes. He took me a minute to get posed for this video, in fact. So yeah, not the most fun to mess with, really. But he looks really good. Like, pair him up with the Fallen and you're off to the races, man. That said, maybe hit him with a coat of paint. But the sculpt, like I said, is there. And it's harder to sculpt than it is to paint, I always say. But yeah, he does look rather cheap because of the gray plastic. But, I mean, he is kind of gray anyways. But I will say, the original leader class that I don't have of this guy, that thing was loaded with silver paint. But I guess that's before Hasbro was completely cheap. Because that one also had lights and sounds, was bigger and more awesome looking. I don't know. That I kind of wish I had that figure. Just because. I don't think I have any leader classes post the first movie. I think I only ever got first movie leaders. But, you know, those are $50 back in the day. When you're a kid, you don't got a lot of money. That's a hard pill to swallow. So, that was like 5 Ben 10 figures, alright? And those were harder to get. Like, the leader class Transformers, they were always there. They were always there. I'd rather get a few toys than just one big awesome toy. I say that, and, well, I've confessed before on this channel that I ordered the Mythic Legion's dragons, so I guess that's a load of crap. But at any rate, now that we got Megatron standing up here, let's bring in our 2 regulars, the Mythic Legion's brother Mandibilith, equally as jagged and spiky, and the infamous 11th Spawn, also jagged and spiky, and, well, Megatron's a little bit taller. But not enough to be towering over good old Alcim's here. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite his shortcomings, whether it's the lack of any decent paint apps, or some panels popping off here and there, or even a somewhat frustrating transformation, I have to say that because I primarily display my Transformers in their robot modes, that's what counts as far as my thoughts on these types of things go. And I have to say that this robot mode is pretty freaking cool looking. Granted, it would have looked cooler with some paint, but the sculpt is there. The sculpt is definitely there. And if you are meticulous with a paintbrush, is that the right word? Either way, good with a paintbrush, we'll go with that. You could really make this guy stand out on a shelf. He looks imposing. It's just, he looks a little cheap. Cheap. So, with that being said, before we wrap this sucker up, why don't we get this guy transformed and take a closer look at his alt mode. And as promised, here we have ye old Megatron in his Cybertronian tank mode, which I gotta say looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. It does, of course, roll back and forth, kind of, sort of. The wheels are kind of tight on mine, so it doesn't work as well as it could. He's got some back kibble here, specifically the fingers. I mean, they hinge, but they don't really fold up anywhere, so you're just kind of stuck with those. And I will say, getting him into this mode is kind of a bitch, because getting everything to line up is a bit of a chore. I actually had to have the old man help me with this one, and for whatever reason, this little panel here does not want to stay down. So I'm assuming it's not supposed to be down like that. It's supposed to be kind of up. But, yeah, you can, of course, pivot. Oh, you can't pivot that one. I thought you could. No. I mean, you could pivot it down a little bit, but it doesn't do a whole lot. And then these guns will move up and down a little bit if you want. And then, of course, there's Megatron's face right there, staring at you from the void. That is his tank crotch. So, yeah, not a perfect alt mode, but a pretty cool alt mode. Personally, I think I prefer the 07 alt mode for Megatron, where he's just a flying cluster of blades. I don't know, there's something that feels more metal about that than a tank that's got no blades. I mean, it's got a little bit, but it's not nearly... It's not the death weapon that the movie 1 alt mode was. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.